Really what I want to do here is demystify the idea of a Floyd Rose being a really tricky thing to set up, because actually once you know the trick to setting it up, it's really quite straightforward. I'm going to look at how I put the strings on the guitar and make sure that the bridge is more or less in a fixed position, so you don't have the problem that you have with many floating bridges, which is where you tune one string at a time, and by the time you go back over the strings, they're all totally out of tune, even if they were in tune when you first started, because as you tune each string, it's going to adjust the tension on the bridge, which is going to affect the previous string's tuning. There's a really simple trick around that. So I want to set the fine tuners up so that they're ready now for how I want them at the very end of the setup process. So they're essentially halfway between the lowest and the highest positions that they're going to be in, to give them most options for adjusting. So the easiest way to do that is to take one of the tuners, let's take the one at the end, and take it as high as it would go, and then skip one, take it as low as it would go. There we go. So that's as low down as it would go, that's as high as it would go. I'll set this one in the middle, in between two, and that means potentially it can go up to this height or down to that height to affect the tuning later. And then I'll just simply set all the tuners level with this midpoint one. You don't have to watch the whole filming, so I'll speed it up for you. It only needs to be rough, but I'm going to just check. Got it about level. So right at the start of the process, I've got the bridge on with the tremolo bar in. It's against the pivots. I've set the height of the micro tuners. What I've got underneath is the springs are reasonably tight. It's pulling the bridge right back against the body. In fact, it's touching the body on the inside of the cavity here. If I use the tremolo arm, I can lift it up again. Ideally, in the long run, I want this to be set so it's level. I'm going to talk about that in a moment, and when we get to that stage, I want it to be set so the bridge is parallel with the body and level with it. Some people prefer it back further. Again, I'll talk about that later. But for right now, don't really need to worry too much about the angle of this. I will keep fiddling with the angle by adjusting the tremolo when I put the strings on, and as I put all the strings on, the tension will hopefully start to pull the tremolo so that it is level with this. If it doesn't, then there's a special step we do towards the end to fix it when we're tuning up. But right now, we just need to put the strings on and we'll notice it starts pulling. If it starts over pulling it, so it becomes that the back end of the bridge is higher than the front end and it's tilting forwards, then we need to tighten the springs underneath to make it more or less level. So I'm going to start by loosening all the clamp parts for the guitar. Clamp parts for the strings. They're actually all open. I've taken off the nuts, the nut locks. Now when you get your strings, they're going to have the ball on one end, and you need to get rid of that ball because this is the end that's going to go into the saddles on the bridge, and they slide in between the block and the ball will get in the way. So basically, you look at the ball end, you see where it's wrapped around, the string goes round the ball and wraps back round itself. Just come over that end of it, and then you can chop it like this. And that leaves you with a nice flat end ready to put down into the saddle. So I'll just repeat that while I'm putting the strings on here, what I'm trying to do in this part of the video is give you some tips on how to string up your Floyd Rose guitar and to tune it up. It's not really a case of going into the entire setup of a guitar, so I'm not going to talk about all the things like intonation, string heights. So when I put the string in, I will just slot it into the gap in the saddle where the block is, use the tremolo arm to lift the bridge up, and then I can turn and tighten to lock it into place. Then I can drag it across, in this case under the string tree, put it into the tuning peg, lock it in this case, and tighten. So you can see here I put the first string on the lower E string. There's not enough tension in one string alone to pull the bridge so that there's enough tension to balance with the springs underneath and make the bridge itself, this part here, parallel with the body. you can see it as I let go, it kind of angles up. So it's pushing back on the bridge, so it's touching the body here. We want it level. And if I put it level and just play the string, you can hear that it's hitting the frets, and that's because it's still too low on this side. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn this to raise it higher. Until I can hear it playing a note. This is essentially by raising the bridge height. At each side you're raising the string height. Now I'm going to actually set the string height properly later as part of the setup, but for now I do want it to be able to play. So that would do. I can sort the rest out later, but that does mean that this side now is much higher than this side. So let me just raise this side to make it more parallel. So from a slightly different angle, it's still hard to see, but this side is higher than there, which is what you want when you're setting strings up at the end. You're going to want them to be different heights, but we don't know exactly the height until we've got the strings on. So what I'm doing here is just raising this side, so by eye, this side and this side are the same height off the body, so the run along the front of the bridge here is absolutely parallel with the back of the humbucker. Right, some really important things to point out here. If you're changing your strings but not worried about giving your guitar a big clean or lemon oiling the fretboard, for example, then ideally you should just change your strings one at a time. That way you'll have the tension more or less balanced, because it should be set up correctly for you anyway, and you can change one string, then the next, and it will all be balanced out whilst you're changing the strings. But if you're starting from scratch, or you do want to take all the strings off in one go for any reason, then you want to watch the rest of this video, because that's where I talk about my little trick using a block to hold the bridge in place and make it a fixed bridge. So just to pause there, at the moment I've got the 3 lower strings on, and already the bridge is beginning to raise up at the back because of the tension of these 3 strings. It's not quite parallel with the body yet, it's still slightly low at the back. We'll carry on with the next 3, but I think what I'm going to find is the tension on the top with the strings pulling this way is going to be greater than the tension at the back with the springs behind pulling the bridge back down. So what will happen is this bridge will start to lift at the back because the tension at the top being higher. In which case I'll stop and I'll tighten the strings at the back to try and get this level, so there's a roughly equal amount of pressure put on the bridge by the strings and the springs to balance this out as level. Let's keep going with the strings though. The back here you can see the springs that hold the bridge in place. This is the block on the back of the bridge, this is the claw that's screwed into the body, and these are the 2 screws I'm going to tighten. When we tighten them, we want to tighten them one at a time, but trying to keep them parallel so that the distance from the screw head to the body on both is the same. And then on the front here you can see that as I hold the tremolo down, the back of the bridge lifts up. Now essentially the string is here applying pressure to the front, which is pulling it up. The springs at the back here are applying pressure at the back, which is pulling it down. You can see when I push the tremolo down at the front, you can see the springs at the back extend. So we'll do that again at the front and extending. So you can see how they're linked. Now at the moment, I was quite lucky when I was putting my strings on then, that actually the bridge is only slightly higher at the back of the bridge than at the front. So all that's really happened is it's pulled it up a little bit. So that means I only need to tighten the screws at the back slightly. I'm going to do a sort of half turn on each screw and then just check with my eyes again to see if it's enough to bring the bridge back down to make it parallel. I basically want to make it about parallel. It's going to have some more adjusting done later. This is just for the start. So that's more or less about parallel. I'm going to make it slightly tighter, I think. So it's at this stage I'm going to tighten down the string tree just to make sure that the break angle of the string coming off of the back side of the nut is lower than it is now, because at the moment it's just coming off the nut straight into the machine head. Lowering this is going to pull it down slightly so that the string will come over the back of the nut, down under the string tree and then across into the machine heads.
So first I'm going to show you what the string retainer here is actually doing, and then I'll take it off and we can look at what it does if it wasn't there. You can basically see the string comes into the nut, goes over the locking part, then it comes down under the string retainer, which has got that kind of curved bottom on it, so it doesn't really catch, and then goes over to the machine head. So here what we can see is the angle changes. The angle changes as it hits the top of the nut, then it goes over the nut, and as it comes out of the nut, it's at an angle that brings it under the string retainer, and then a new angle which goes over towards the machine head. If the string retainer wasn't there, we'd just have one angle coming out from the end of the nut to the machine head. And that's the key thing, is changing the angle here and bringing it down quite sharply. Let me just loosen this and you can see the difference if it wasn't tightened up. So there, now you can see that this string retainer is having no real effect on this string. It's not pulling the string down at all. What you can see is the string coming over here and going down towards the tuning peg. Now if the brake angle was higher, let's say it was more like this, so we're focusing on the area here, then when I put the locking saddle on, you can see when it leaves the nut, it will go up and down. So what you don't want is that movement when you lock the nut. What you need is the string retainer down tight enough so that no matter what the angle is for the string once it leaves the string retainer, the main focus we've got of the string here between the retainer and the nut, you don't want any movement when you push the locking nut down. And the reason for that is you will tune your guitar up, and obviously with a Floyd Rose, any slight movement in the strings can change the tuning. So you want to make sure that as you're loosening and tightening the nut, there's no give on the tuning of the string. And that will happen if the string retainer wasn't there, because as we saw, this part of the string would move. But with the string retainer there, there'll be no change in the tuning, because even tightening the Allen key on the locking nut makes no difference to this angle. It doesn't budge the string at all, therefore the string will stay perfectly in tune.
I'm also going to put into place the locking nuts, but I'm actually not just going to lightly tighten them by hand. I'm going to leave them loose, because what I am going to be doing is, as much as possible, doing the tuning from the machine heads and not from the fine tuners. So I don't want these locked down to stop that happening just yet. There you go. For this next stage, I need the guitar plugged into the tuner. Now here's my secret weapon for tuning. It's a wooden block that's narrower at one end than the other. And what I'm going to do is use this at the back of the guitar to block in place the bridge so that it's at a fixed height. Because to do the tuning up now, what you need is your bridge to not be floating, you want it to be fixed. So here I go. I'm going to take the block with the flat edge against the inner back side of the cavity and push it in, and then the angle bit will push against the block of the bridge. So as I push it in, I'm going to look over the front just to check the bridge is parallel with the body. Now what's going to happen is, as I tighten the strings of the guitar, the block here is going to want to push backwards towards the back of the guitar, because the strings are pulling the bridge up like that. So as they pull it up like that, this block starts to push back, but it won't push any further back because it will be touching the wooden block. As it's touching the wooden block and it can't move further back, it's essentially fixed in place. So the bridge is a fixed bridge for now because of this block. So I'm going to tighten the strings, tune the strings up while it's fixed to get them exactly right, then pull this block out by getting the springs to exactly the right tension to balance the block. Let's go through that. So this may make for quite a boring video, but what I'm doing now is the bridge is essentially fixed because of the wooden block behind it, and I'm going to tighten the strings or tune the strings to the right tuning for each string without using the micro tuners, but only by using the tuning pegs at the headstock. Remember, the nuts, the locking nuts are not locked down yet. Now normally I would do this in the upright actual position I would be playing in, but just for the video I'll do it like this. Right, so that's tuned up. So now I'm about to take the block out. Now obviously if the springs were much tighter than they are now, the block would just fall out because the springs would be pulling the block from the bridge inwards, and that would make the block fall out. So what's probably happening is the tension on the strings is stronger than the tension on the springs, and the strings are pulling the bridge up, which is what's holding the block in place. So I could just pull the block out and then tighten these, keeping my eye on the bridge to check its level. What I'm actually going to do is tighten these until this becomes loose. So when I know it's loose, then I know that the tension between the two is more or less the same. So let's just do each screw very slightly. So it's quite hard to do while filming it. Oh, there you go, look, that's just really loose now. So you can see here now that the bridge is parallel with the body. I should say that some people do like their bridge to be right back, so the spring tension's really tight. So it would be more like the guitar's doing this. Now the reason they like that is it means that when they let go of the tremolo bar, the bridge falls back into this place because the springs are so tight, and there's no budging because it's pulled really tight against the body, which essentially means it's a fixed bridge until you push down on the tremolo bar and do this. It does mean that you can basically only loosen the strings because you can't go back that way with the tremolo. I think it's better to have it parallel like this, so you get both actions all the way down, loosen the strings, and all the way up to tighten the strings. So in a full setup, the next thing I would do would be to check the intonation and the string height. Like I said, I've got a whole video about doing a setup, and once that's done, which is the case on this guitar, I would then tighten the locking nuts. You don't want to over tighten them because basically once you've tightened it enough, it holds it in place. If you tighten it too much, it's just going to really dig into the strings more than you need to, and potentially would just defred the bolts, so you don't really want to do that. If you enjoyed this video, please like and leave a comment below. I read all the comments, I absolutely enjoy responding to them. So last thing to say is I'm on all the social medias. Please do give me a follow on them to say hi. Until the next video, take care and happy strumming.